And it looks like we may be live.
We may be.
You know how it is.
We
Do we know?
just.
Do we not know?
What if we're undead instead?
Hey,
What
that
if we're
rhymed.
undead and loving it?
uh,
Is that a show?
That's a movie.
Oh, damn it. I suck
Dracula,
so much
undead
at
and
stuff.
loving it. It's
Mel Brooks.
it's one of Mel Brooks's lesser appreciated. I've never watched it myself, but I know that it's not highly regarded among his films.
It's
Hmm.
it. Yeah, it's definitely one of his hidden gems. Because everybody likes his other ones. I loved it, but then again,
Which one's
it
your
was like the first one I watched.
favorite Mel Brooks one?
Favorite Mel Brooks, obviously Spaceballs is up at the top.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, it's a Young Frankenstein. That's it. It's Young Frankenstein. To Be or Not to Be, which is superb. Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that was okay.
Yeah,
that's a
We're
Mel
men.
Brooks.
We're men in tights, tights.
Mm.
The producers. The producers is also amazing. It's like, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. I
That actually would
man,
like
I wouldn't even think to count the producers as like among, because like when I think of the Mel Brooks movies, I think of like the Mel Brooks parodies. So
Oh yeah, I mean the man
so
was.
like yeah.
Was it? And he also did History of the World Part 1. I think that was also one of his.
I haven't seen that one.
I know my dad didn't have a very high opinion of it, but I've come to, in many recent years, to be like, my dad doesn't have a sense of taste. So
So he likes Brotherhood. I got it.
Oh my god. Ooh. Ooh.
Out of the gate!
I know, right?
Out of the
Welcome,
gate!
guys. Welcome to the Brotherhood stream.
Yeah.
Get your
Well,
friend.
We picked
Go
you.
get a
It's not
friend.
Rwby. It's
Well,
all gonna be me shitting on not Assassin's Creed, on Full Metal
Assassin's
Alchemist.
well, welcome to that one JoJo's Bizarre Adventure gift where the people are getting kicking the crap out of that one guy, but it's just me,
Yeah.
Vex, and Dash beating the crap out of that.
Yes. I can't believe he thought it was not a hot take. That was hilarious. That was so cute and
No,
adorable.
Dashi, I knew it was a hot take. It's the highest rated thing on my anime list.
That doesn't mean.
I know it's like the most
So
popular
what?
anime ever.
Yeah, but it's a hot take because
Yeah.
not most of those people think it's bad. It's most of the people think it's good.
I can say it's the coldest contrarian take. I'll say that.
Okay, yeah, I give up, man. I tried with him. I did. He does he does like 03 though. That's at least we can. His soul will be saved, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, we're all wrong sometimes, Fatman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I had to guess, I'd say that the manga is probably really good.
Oh yeah, people
I
swear
haven't-
by the manga.
but I haven't
Never
read it.
Yeah, never read it.
Yeah. Because if the manga has like the 03 version of the beginning and then the Brotherhood version of the end, and like the middle is still as good as it would have been given how 03 turned out, then the manga is probably like the optimal version of that story.
Yeah. It's a shame that we didn't get like any of that in movie form. Oh God, do you remember the movie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The
Me too.
movie.
I'm sorry too.
At least the movie was funny bad.
I didn't watch the new episode. How did they ruin all the decency they built up? Well, for one, you're mistaken in thinking they built up decency.
Yeah, like the what?
Second,
now?
they completely retconned that it destroyed a bunch of Grimm, and I went back and checked. Like, and I would bash heads with media on this, where he's like, "Oh, look, the Grimm are alive." It's almost as if it didn't destroy them. I'm like, then where the hell were they during the Cinder and Watts fight? Like, in the Cinder Watts discussion, like, they gave us multiple massive panovers of the city from multiple angles. One's looking down straight at the street, one's looking into the sky, one's looking at the skyline. Like, where were the Grimm? Were they just were they on the smoke break? What were they doing?
Maybe the flying Grimm got like one of those like bombs that are lights, and they were like, oh no, we better not fly, so they needed to rest on the ground, so that's why there were none on the sky. You know, that's why we probably never saw it. Yep, that's
They're afraid of
Uh-huh.
cameras.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's. Oh my god! Just like now. Oh my god! Velvet is even more overpowered now.
What? Why? Oh, the fucking Flash.
She has a camera.
Yeah. Nice.
Uh,
Why'd you miss
Uh.
CJ Black? Just started talking about how
Nothing.
the Grimm are still alive.
Yeah,
But
that
we
was
didn't see
kind of
it.
annoying.
Yeah.
I tweeted about that 2 days ago. It's kind of annoying that 'cause I was sure when I made my Ironwood video, in the video I made a point that the Grimm are all dead because of what Oscar did, but apparently
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it's not the case. But it totally looked like that because it was like a desolate wasteland, and like nothing, silence.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're saying that all the Grimm got killed, but no, of course not.
It did
Wait,
show
and
like
then,
they were
like-
disintegrating though. They did like some, I guess. I guess not all of them, but
It
Can't
showed
trust
that they
anything.
got. It showed that they got consumed by like the brightness of the light, but it didn't show that they got damaged by it. They just said like the light overtook them, like it overtook everything else in the scene. So like I can see where like media and others are being like, no, it didn't destroy the Grimm, but like it's what matters afterwards, where we're seeing a prolonged period of like 5 or 10 minutes where there's nothing happening involving Grimm over the city, like. And then you have people coming to argue, like, oh, no, the Grimm, those are new Grimm that are coming into the city from outside. You know, the ones that are still lingering out. I'm like, well, that doesn't explain the ones on the ground that somehow got up there, which were like, you know, the ground-based Grimm that would have been
mm-hmm.
destroyed. And, like, why didn't they come in immediately? Like, you would think that they would. They're Grimm. They have one desire, which is to eat people.
Right. And they
think-
No, everybody's happy about the explosion.
I was gonna say
so they got bored. and
can't they
fucked
like
off.
sense everybody in the undergrounds, you know, in the subways and stuff, like all sad. They should be hanging in by the doors. But I guess not. Yep.
Even even Ironwood's order, like kind of like, all right, good job, guys. Now come back. Almost like the mission was accomplished. Like we got all right, but apparently not. I'm confused as to why they're just letting Grimm, like, now that the whale is gone, why not just like take out some of the Grimm that's flying around in Atlas? I mean, I'm confused. Where's their priority now? Like, where's the military? What are they doing?
Maybe they're still down there. I don't know. Because I know there was like
Sure,
a cornfield
but-
of
Now they should be directing their attention to the Grimm in the city.
Brilliant.
Well, his
Great
priority
idea.
right now is to explode Mantle. So
Sure, but what are the rest of them? Just standing around waiting to?
They're waiting for orders. They don't have free will.
Ironwood sucks. He sucks.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't.
Unfortunately.
Like, I mean, okay, a highlight of the episode was him. Well, one of the highlights was him drawing a gun on Marrow and being willing to blow his head off in cold blood. Like, all right, you're following through on the whole like just willing to murder people on the fly thing. I'm at least appreciate that.
I don't know. I don't know how he didn't catch that Winter was helping him out instead of like, pretend
He's
arresting
not-
him.
He's not brain boy yet. he's got his semblance doing all the thinking for him.
And the fact that Winter's still
It's the semblance
there,
his penis.
Alongside him was weird too, because he was a little ticked off. There's been like art saying that that he was gonna shoot her. Like I saw some nice art, which I should look for right now.
I don't. I mean, this episode, when I reflect on it, it has a lot of character dialogue. I mean, it is almost 100% dialogue, with the exception of Penny trying to like run away with all the panic and like it has all the tenseness of your cat maybe running out the front door, and like maybe getting lost in the bushes for a couple of minutes. Like it has that feeling of like oh no, we can't. Oh god, it's going to inconvenience us for a little bit if she does this.
What an inconvenience! So that's what Emerald should have yelled instead of do something. Be like, what an inconvenience! Yeah, and that's why she had her weapons is to save Penny. Like that's why they gave it back to her.
You know what it could have saved the Ironwood scene? is if like when Winter knocked Marrow down and chained him and arrested him, she could have turned to Ironwood and actually, you know, kind of pushed back a little bit. Kind of like she's already acting out. Why not double down and be like, "Sir, we don't need to kill everyone that disagrees with us. We just need them out of the way."
No. What would have been
Well,
better? What would have been
they should
better?
catch a
Hear me
bullet.
out. Hear me out. What would have been better would be like, okay, Winter, how about you shoot him, and then gives her the gun and waits with the other gun. Ooh.
Oh God, that would have been awesome. like she could have been like,
prove, you know.
Is that an order, sir? And he's just like, it's whatever you want it to be, Officer Schnee, or something like that. And it just like give her the ultimate moment of decision.
That might still be. I mean, that could still be coming theoretically.
Theoretically, but I if it depends who's in that elevator, because again, we came up with two compelling arguments. It could be Winter and Marrow, or it could be Jacques.
Yeah, nobody thinks about
I
Jacques.
don't know how
Just
Jacques,
like
because
the
Jacques was apprehended.
He was.
He was actually, yeah, he was. You're right.
They said that he was still in custody before the explosion.
Oh.
Or
Man.
before the Grim explosion. Clarification, because there was an explosion for the jailbreak. After the jail explosion, before the Grim explosion.
I'm sorry, Vexed. I
Let's
was saying
see.
something, and you were about to say something before I told my amazing, alternate story. So,
Oh, I honestly don't remember.
okay. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Oh yeah, and the whole little speech with Crow and Robin, your favorite character, Vex. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So there's
crown
nothing they can
jewel
do
of
with
the
Robin
show.
for you to be like, all right, nothing, huh?
Oh, I'm sure that. I mean, there's always something you can do.
Yeah.
Do I have that? What that is in my head right now? No, but this you can always do something. But right now, based on where it's going, I don't. Based on these writers, I don't think so. Probably not. I probably still hate her the rest of the way.
And you feel that way about Cinder, right? There's nothing they can, Fatman. There's nothing they can do about her.
About Cinder?
Yeah.
No.
Cinder's the worst
No.
character in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
They
I
could
said,
kill her.
like I said, right now, I said this last episode. Right now, they have their shot. They have the opening.
Sure.
It's very narrow and very difficult. They got to thread a needle here to improve her character, because she's been called out on her being so terrible as a character. Like, that was the explicit purpose for that call out. Now they have to follow through on making her a good character. And if it's a very fine line they're going to be treading with that, because if they fall on one side or the other, I don't have any faith they're going to be able to walk that tightrope. I have no faith that they're going to be able to, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm currently writing a because I like half my comments on my Ironwood video about talk about the Cinder scene, talk about that Cinder scene, talk about that Cinder scene. Oh, fine, I'll talk about it. So I'm currently writing a script for that little Cinder Watt scene. Honestly, now that I've thought about it for a while, the only thing they could possibly do to even make me say, let's see where this goes. It can't involve Salem. It has to be. I mean, they're teeing it up too much at this point. Like, she even said when she attacked Penny, like, "Oh, I work for no one, or I serve no one." So okay, you're leaning into it. All right, so then have her just leave Salem then. Like, just go ahead and do it, because that's what you're clearly heading that way, right? So why not? Why even bother stringing this along? Just have her go her separate way, break away from Salem, and see where that takes us. Because right now, there's no situation or there's no scenario where Cinder is still under Salem that I care about this character. So try something else. Like,
Yeah, that's one possibility that I hadn't really considered. Is that if Cinder's drive is for more power, completely ignoring her flashback episode this volume.
Yes. Yep. Bingo.
If her ultimate drive is more power, then would it not logically mean that at some point she would not just want to serve someone more powerful, she would want to be someone more powerful, and as that consequence would seek out the Winter Maiden, the maiden powers, and maybe even the immortality pool for herself. Maybe that's like, maybe Salem does die somehow at the end of volume 9, and Cinder becomes the final big bad who's like taking over Salem's post. Like, she maybe she orchestrates Salem's downfall. Maybe she's like part of that. Like, that's very, like, that would be an angle to take with Cinder. I could see that. I don't think they'll succeed at it, but again, I would like to see them at least attempt something interesting.
And where do you see Neo after, at the end of the episode? What's going on with her?
Who cares?
Did you
Because
ever
the thing
like
is,
Neo?
I don't know what Neo wants, frankly. Like,
The
okay,
writers don't know either.
Revenge is like such a very
Yeah.
Revenge is a very, very intense type deal where either it works one of two ways. Either it's like an all-out gunning for the revenge type deal, which obviously isn't her case. Like if she were gunning for revenge on
Right.
Ruby and whatever,
She would
she
have
would have stabbed Ruby at the party.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the alternative is it's a slow burn where she's like kind of Monte Cristo, meticulously counting like
Does she want to
putting a domino effect, savory, and like putting dominoes in place to make sure it all collapses all at once in a complete domination of the person. And that doesn't seem to be what she wants either, because then she's like, Cinder, you didn't give me what I wanted.
Neo is not a character. Neo is not a character. According to the commentary, Neo was added to make Cinder's plotline more interesting.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need to know. I mean, the character was introduced. She blamed Cinder for Roman's death. She was somehow convinced it was Rwby, somehow. Then she's like, all right, well, I can let's go get Rwby. She then works under Cinder for some reason. And then the whole time, I'm like, okay, well, she has to, in order for this to work, she must have this long game of wanting to backstab her. But no, she actively helps her try to get the other maiden power, and then hand us over the relic. And then she
doesn't even get credit.
And then Cinder gives it to Salem, and then she steals it back, and then it's so stupid. Like, what is going on with this character?
The more I reflect on it, like, if I were in charge of how they handled Neo, like, if we weren't taking it from my interpretation, like, how they handled Neo, I would have literally just had Neo randomly show up to dick with people. Like, that's all I would have done with it.
I was just about to ask that. Like, they've always portrayed her as, like, childish. I mean, she skipped, for fuck's sake. Maybe that's what she likes to do, is play games with people and, doing what Vex just literally, like, explained.
Neo walks out of the shadows with a dual disc on his, just like types out, "It's time to do."
Welcome to the Shadow Realm, motherfucker.
Oh, she could do like the illusions of all the monsters too.
Nice. Let's see. Sonic Flare creator asks, how did you feel about the Ren and Nora scene? Personally, I was happily surprised with it.
I'm glad you feel that way.
It stems back. I would have liked this 2 volumes ago.
Okay. I wanted it.
Show.
I wanted to kiss here more than over at the Bumblebee one last episode, for sure. Like, that was what was missing. Everything else was beautiful.
Ren wasn't your scars are super hot.
Yeah, is that
I'm
what you needed? 0 out of 10. I love the fact that her scars are going to stay. We've been saying that for a while, and Dora even made a thing for us. Amazing. I love that.
I don't know. I still have. I mean, again, a big issue with the episode was that a lot of the dialogue was just was blunt force trauma, where it was just like spelling things out for the viewer, and a lot of that can be diegetic. You can do diegetic dialogue that way, where a lot of characters. There had to be some kind of finesse, and I was not getting that, and a lot with the Nora being like, "I need to work on me" type thing. Only really works out, it was pointed, when you actually can physically distance yourself, so you can actually go and be someone else for a period of time. And Ren and Nora right now are in physical proximity to each other, so it's not like she can figure herself out. Like, again, this is something that, like, during volume 6 and leading into volume 7 would have been a good arc for her to follow. And I might just steal that, but the idea of, like, them kind of breaking apart a little bit and then coming back together and being like, okay, I know who I am now, you know who you are now, and now we have this backbone of us being together to work from. We can be with each other comfortably, and it doesn't feel like we have that. It doesn't feel like again, just there's that dearth of character interaction between volume 5 and 6. We just don't have anything to work with, and it's like you're trying to build something on top of air. You just can't unless it's like a fan that like propels itself.
Mm.
It's a very bad analogy.
Okay. As far as that scene, I was even okay with that Jean scratching the back of his head, going, "Oh, water under the bridge," and like, I normally I'm like, "What? Get this out of here," but they weren't in like in super trouble like they were before, and then they started doing some jokes and stuff. But I don't know, that comedy just it was it took me out a lot. But this time it was like, okay, I even like that, and I normally don't. How'd you guys feel about that Jean moment?
I rolled my eyes hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I was the biggest fan of it. I think I think Fatman made a good point in the video where it was all in delivery. Like it was the delivery of the joke, not the fact that there was a joke, and it could have been a lot stronger.
Okay.
Exactly.
You can easily break the tension with comedy in a
Mhm.
scene like that, but just the way they did it, it's
Even
so
even the animation,
heavy-handed.
like why? Just he could say something funny or like not over the top and just walk out or do it in a funny way. You don't have to have the whole stop, freeze animation style, the whole
Yeah.
glitching out of the. It's why?
Yeah. Like when they did it with Nora in Volume 6, it was just like, yeah, okay, it's funny that like Nora is the character that gets all this like special animation because she was like, the kind of like fourth wall breaking, like, I guess she like not really
the
fourth
Genki
wall
character.
breaking, but she was that archetype. Yeah, Genki girl, thank you.
She can get away with it.
And she can get away with it, but it's just like now it's just like, oh, and now Jean can do it too because he's our special boy. It's like no.
John's the awkward character. Like that's sort of like his dynamic socially in the cast. He's the one that's like supposed to be kind of. I mean, he's got obviously his arc is that he's gaining confidence, but like the fact that he's supposed to be like the more awkward and kind of gangly type of guy, like his humor is a much more. The physicality of it is much different. It's not about sharp movements. It's typically about very unsure movements that are more clumsy. Like it's not flustered necessarily. It's more of a I'm just. You can tell like he would be like smaller in his body language. He wouldn't be as like all over the place. He'd be kind of like shrinking away. Like I'm just gonna step out. I think Weiss needed me to clean a teacup or something.
So do you all agree that this may be an Eddie scene? Because I know.
Yeah, I would say this would be an Eddie probably. It feels, yeah, this feels exactly like a Rwby Chibi joke.
All right.
I was thinking just like the Volume 7, Episode 4. Like I've seen this before, except it was Nora last time.
What happened in Volume 7, Episode 4?
Oh yeah, but that was also the episode
was-
where they did like the whole like gushing over the Aesops.
Yeah,
remember?
that one? Okay.
thunder thighs, and then she like freezes, and like Ren has to
Yeah.
like pick her up and move her off screen.
Yeah, like
it's
a-
just
Yeah, but
like
that-
they've done
Cardboard
that
cutout.
before.
That was cute.
I'm gonna take a guess and say Eddie wrote Rwby Yang scene, and I'll give my reason as to why, and then I think that Miles wrote. I think Kirsty might have wrote. I don't know. I just think I think the Rwby Yang scene was Eddie though.
I think they all like looked it over, and I think they added their own touches in all of these conversations. But if I had to say, I think Eddie wrote the Nora Ren scene because it's very point blank trauma with the dialogue, and it worked in the like he also wrote the earlier Ren scene where Ren blew up at people, but that worked because that was an anger. When you're speaking in anger, typically the point, blunt force dialogue can work really well. Where like because that's where when you're angry, your intent is to hurt someone, and it's intent to like just get to the core of the problem the quickest. Typically, where you're trying to just like eloquate your frustrations most pointedly, and you're not finding the right words necessarily. So you can be like you're messy. It's very painful. In this, it was like very touching and slow and like just trying to figure things out, and it didn't work. But it felt like Eddie with that entire scene. With Rwby and Yang, it didn't have quite the trauma, and in fact, it reminded me a lot of like how Kiersey wrote in her book. where it was like kind of a quieter, slower, and kind of more drawn out scene. And I think that was a Kiersey scene. And then I think the final scene I think was Miles, where it felt a lot of like the one character gives exposition at a time type deal going on.
All right, guys, hear that? Everything Raymond just said, bet the opposite. I'm joking. I'm probably we're wrong. I was wrong earlier with volume 2. Remember, I was like, "There's no way Eddie wrote this scene." Oh shit, he did write that scene. So it's all hit and miss. We think we know, but we really don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
I'm taking educated guesses.
Yeah.
Those are my bets.
They're
I remember
just messing with us for
Yeah,
because they think we know.
Yeah, I was surprised when I found out that Eddie wrote that Ren scene. Oh, he wrote that scene. Okay, because I'll use the worst in volume 7. Well, there you go. So it's all like we don't know. We don't know.
Never try to assume we know what the Rwby writers intended. Yeah, I just think back to Oscar.
And then we go and watch
The
commentary
Oscar
You
fun,
and Oscar,
like,
man. You
volume
and Oscar.
7.
You and children. Just kidding. But just reminds me, Raymond, you have to make me a meme for Vexed when to do a shot when Vex says something. I think every time he says, so and so has to die or you have to kill. I think that's a Vex thing. I'm still finding out what mine is, guys. Please help me.
Now that you mention that, Matt's getting kind of scared because I was in my mind. I thought, all right, Nora Ren's gonna get got, but now Nora's got the scars, so they're not gonna kill her off now because she got to rock the scars for the rest of the show.
She does. Okay.
And now they're getting attached. They're getting attached to this Ren stimulus thing. Like, oh my god, do they like this thing? Oh no. He's not getting killed off either. Cause they want to use this thing going out forward. They want to use this thing going forward. No.
Yeah.
No. Here's the potential angle they could be taking it. This whole dynamic with Nora thing they're going. I think they might kill off Ren to get the but I should have been with him before.
Yeah,
I should have embraced that. Like I'm thinking that might be the route they take. But I don't know. I feel like killing off the character of the creator of the show might be a dangerous move to make for them. Just say
Nah, I don't think it matters now. Like it's.
I think it's been a while now, so I don't think. Do people still see Ren and think Monty?
I don't think so. I don't think.
I mean, I mostly think Neath at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Our Master DX says, "How do you guys feel about Emerald saying, quote, switch sides? Like using the words, I suppose."
I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, how else would you describe?
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no.
I still maintain it. I still maintain that I want more elaboration from Emerald as to why she's there and like why she's decided to make the switch. But whatever. Everyone else keep telling us why, but she hasn't said it. Well, maybe we'll get that eventually. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're like due for a lot of like characters expositing their motivations type deal. We need Cinder, we need Neo, we need Emerald, we need who else do we need for motivations right now? Like who else do we know? I guess Ironwood we need justifications.
No, I swear, with Ironwood, they're just gonna beat him up. They're gonna break his semblance in the fight, or they're gonna break his aura in the fight, and then his semblance is gonna turn off, and he's gonna be like, "It was my semblance, guys."
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can see that. It's like they're gonna beat him up, and then they're gonna like he's gonna be like kind of not knocked out, but like incapacitated in the corner, and then they're gonna have they'll be like, "Oh, we gotta deal with this problem now." So they're all like in the command room trying to decide how to deal with it, and like. Well, if someone hadn't done all this, I mean, Ironwood's just like, I'm sorry. It was my semblance. When I get focused on things. They're going to do that. I feel like they're going to do that.
I want to stick with what I said. Who knows when it was, but I said that he was going to realize what he did / was trying to do and just end it all like on his own. I want him to do that. I don't know why.
When you say end it all, what do you mean?
I want him to be like, fuck. And then take one of his guns and eat a bullet. I don't know. I'm never for this, but I don't know. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, we want that to happen. I got you.
Yeah. That was a plan I had for Rwby Over the Seas back when I was making that. We had a whole character arc for Roman and Neo.
Take half a shot.
Neo.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No.
Where Neo actually ends up getting killed by Cinder, and Roman goes kind of on a revenge quest and helps out Team Rwby as like revenge for saving Neo. It's like kind of weirdly the inverse of what's going on with Neo, although it makes way more sense in ours. And at the very end of it, when they finally defeat Cinder and the baddies and all that such, Roman just says, "Yeah, that was That was all I wanted to do. And then
And
he
then boom.
basically he opts out, so to speak, on screen. And I remember me and Marcus got in an argument over it because Marcus did not want to depict a suicide.
Yeah.
And like,
See, like as I'm so against suicide. Like it's weird that I think that though. I never ever think about like that.
yeah, no, the thing is, like, I find suicide is a very interesting dynamic for a character. It's like the ultimate moment of either giving up or recognizing that they're done with what they need to accomplish type deal. It's like it's when a character has been robbed of purpose or has been robbed of I guess just robbed of purpose. And it's very dangerous to go into that mindset as a writer, very dangerous as a person in general. For anyone out there, if you ever feel like any kind of desire to opt out, so to speak, to take your own life, please seek help. Please talk to someone.
Absolutely.
Please seek it out. We're discussing this for characters and how cool it would be for a character to go out in this way. Know that it's because they're a tragic character. We don't want tragedies in real life.
Exactly.
We like tragedies in shows, in fiction, but not in real life, guys.
Thank you for saying that, Raymond. Because as it was coming out of my mouth, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, thank you. Yeah.
Just like how I joke about, like, you know, beating the crap out of Oscar and it's like, beat the child. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, no, I'm not seriously condoning any kind of violence against children. For Christ's sake, please do not hurt children. Protect children at all costs.
Meanwhile, Fatman in the background is, no, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's not. We're obviously kidding.
Look,
no violence against children in real life unless they're politicians. Then go ahead.
Oh, again with the politicians.
I'm sure Greta Thunberg feels very happy about that one. Oh, damn.
Activists and politicians are different.
Let's see. Ryan
I don't know.
Ryan Carson asked, we touched upon this a little bit, but I'll still ask it here. How do you guys feel about the Rwby and Yang's conversation? Rwby and Yang conversation about Summer. Did you even feel anything at all about it? How do you feel about the whole situation and the writing behind it? We touched on it, like I said.
I think Raymond, that was probably the most.
I think, Raymond, you had beef with the fact that she said until she met my mom, right? And you're like,
I've softened a little bit on that.
Okay.
Where
it's the best scene in the episode.
It was the best scene in the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I mean,
Fatman. Well,
I don't know, by process of elimination.
What's the better scene in the episode? I mean,
the intro.
Let me tell you
that intro animation is pretty sick.
The intro. Come on now, Manus. I thought you were talking about Ironwood for a moment.
Well, let me tell you why. Unfortunately, when it comes to Rwby, you can't really say, "All right, awesome, that's great," or "I appreciate that scene." More like, "Oh, they finally actually talked about it. Thank you." Kind of that kind of vibe, right? Like I've been talking about Yang and Rwby having some kind of a talk about Summer for years. Now when it happened, I'm like, all right, great, it happened. But now you have to go back and look at all right, was it actually done well? Was it executed well? I'm just happy they did it at the time. Like, yes, they did it finally, you know. But I mean, it could be better, of course.
It still suffered from a lot of the issues of the episode. Again, like the whole better thing. Again, blunt force trauma dialogue, not really helping the situation. Where of all the dialogue, though, it was the most finessed, but that doesn't say much when the most finesse you get is a bat to the face. So like that's where I'm like, I like that Rwby and Yang are finally talking about Summer in some capacity. Yes. So Yang is actually having a reaction that Summer is her mom. Yeah. Like we're getting an actual like double down on that nice little point even after last volume's. Oh, only Rwby broke down. Like, shouldn't Yang be breaking down too? Yeah. This is her. She knew what was to Summer more.
It's because Yang is older and more mature. She doesn't blah 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 blah.
In those pants, honey, she ain't more mature. Okay. Actually, I'm kidding. I like her. No, her design. Is her design terrible in this volume? I can't remember.
Who's
Yang's?
Is her what?
Like her design is obsessed with Raven design. Like she's wearing the Miley Cyrus pants.
Yeah, the
thigh window. It's got cold thigh. Yeah, the thigh window.
Yeah, honey, in those pants you ain't the most mature. Rwby is actually like,
yeah,
she's the one wearing like good clothing.
Yeah. Because you know, like another thing about her design, I don't know if we ever said this, but like, you know, if anybody was like, oh no, her design isn't like a Raven thing, it's just like, well, but if you look at like her leg, like if you look at like where she puts stuff that is a reference to important people, she's got the purple handkerchief on her other leg, or is it the same leg? So it's just like, yeah, she puts like references to people in her life below her waist.
Or she
So
could
yeah,
just
of
like
course
purple.
that is a Raven
I
reference.
mean,
No, she's in Rwby. She can't just like
Is that
purple
so?
when her girlfrind is purple.
I
see,
just
I
like
see.
that, like, he puts everything below her waist. Just like, well, that adds a nice spin.
Okay.
That's what she thinks of him. It's like, oh, gotta trade out.
All right, get some questions from Discord. Tundra, girlfriend in chat's girlfriend says, "Do you think that was better or worse episode than the Volume 5 episode where it's just Raven and Cinder talking?"
This is better
Yes,
than that.
by virtue of it not being Raven and Cinder.
It's
What
volume
el-
5, crying out loud. Come on.
What else happened in that
Yeah,
episode?
I have a feeling once you hear Volume 5, you're not going to get any like
Yeah.
serious answers. For
No,
sure,
not
guys.
really. The first few episodes were okay. After that, it was a straight dumpster fire. So
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going
I
to
mean,
jump off of this question here. For you guys, is there a good Volume 5 episode whatsoever? Like just one? Fuck it.
Episode 2
is
is
there a
fine.
scene? Is there a scene? I'll give you like
Well, yeah,
episode-
there are good. There are good
episode,
scenes.
I thought episode 1 is solid, and episode 2 is fine.
All right.
I mean, episode 8 is a good Volume 5 episode. It's got like the Weiss and Yang scene. It had the
Okay.
the-
Okay.
that bit on Menagerie that was like the only tolerable bit.
Yeah, that's the best of the bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and scenes. I mean, Volume 5 did have good scenes. It had like the Weiss and Pilot Boy scene, and the Yang and Weiss scene from episode 8. It had the gunchuck fight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were good things in Volume 5. It's just that
Raymond?
Molly clarifies because she's actually in chat. This is girlfriend and chat's girlfriend is Molly,
Oh.
and she's like,
okay.
yeah. You would know that joke if you watched my streams every Friday at 4 p.m. But she's saying that this episode was like bottom 3 for her. It was actively atrocious. in terms of
like
character
ever
development.
or of this season.
Yeah, that's a clarification. Is it ever or just this volume?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say this is better than that episode.
Without question.
Because yeah,
Okay.
this isn't good, but it's better
Ever.
than that.
Do you have a good scene?
Bottom 3 ever.
Raymond, do you have a good scene in Volume 5? Or episode, I mean?
Well, me and Vex listed them all, so
I was gonna say like
Raymond can
I would
a different one.
have
God,
to
It's not only you.
I would have to go back through that volume and actively
Yeah.
look, which I'm
So you're
going
not Fat
to.
Man? You don't
very
know like
soon
you don't know the episode and the time code and the fucking colors
Look,
we're wearing? Oh,
you
God.
haven't been working on Volume 5 Part 2 review for 5 years now.
I have actively expunged Volume 5 from my brain as a self-defense mechanism. All right,
Oh God.
I this is the reason I dread going into it for fixing. Yes, now you may take a shot. The reason I dread going back into it because like I don't remember a thing of Volume 5 outside of the ending, which was
Yeah.
nightmarish.
It was
I
tough.
guess if I really had to pull, it was the Cinder and Raven fight, which is basically just a knockoff Final Fantasy battle.
All right.
I like Ilya's voice acting. I know Fatman doesn't really care for that, but I thought.
Oh
it
yeah,
was really
Stromulay. Stromulay
Yeah.
with the win.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people like her, but I just didn't get like why off of Ilya's performance.
good. Because she was opposite of Aaron and Blake, and then and it sounded so much better.
Because she
Yeah.
sounded like
That's
a person.
But you're still here. Yeah, you know. her voice acting was so much better that episode. It like just stood out. So like, yeah, that's part of it.
No one cares about volume 1, 2, 3. No one cares. Remember, nothing matters except for the current volume and the preceding one.
Yeah.
Like, those are the 2 volumes that matter at any one given time.
I mean, well, like when Volume 6 rolled around and didn't immediately retcon Volume 5 in the first episode, then the show became serial. Like, even though there was very little they could have retconned from Volume 5, they didn't. So it's like, oh wait, what? Do we have to start remembering stuff now?
Fatman, I think this question might be like for you because you'll know what episode is what. In the Tundra, I put the picture in there. Peter Flynn asked, can you read that? It says, does Volume 5 still have most Talking Heads episodes than Volume 8? Or does Volume 8 have more episodes where our characters actually do stuff instead of characters talking about set stuff that has been done?
Oh yeah, I think Volume 8 already has more stuff doing than Volume 5.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll applaud them that they've been all over the place in a good way. They've been doing a lot.
Yeah, Volume 8, it's already better than Volume 7. It's already better than Volume 5, and unless something catastrophic happens in the last 3 episodes, it's already better than Volume 2. It might end up better than Volume 3, but that's like kind of a long shot.
Yeah, that's where me and Fatman disagree because Volume 3 is my favorite. So
Oh, really?
Me too.
yeah, so but yeah, it's already better than 5, 7.
Yeah.
Sure.
I-
So, yeah.
I don't know honestly because like it's actually really solid, but the premise on which it lies is the assassination of an entire character that has actually been consistently good throughout the rest of the show. Like
It's just his semblance making him act a fool. It's
Act a fool.
no, like I mean, even considering that it's just, oh well, we're gonna make Ironwood evil, blah blah blah. Like even considering that, it's still better than like the bottom 3 volumes.
Your
I
favorite-
mean, and we haven't seen how it shakes out yet. Like,
Yeah,
we
I need
haven't
to- I
seen
need-
the last 3, but
Yeah, I need to reflect on this volume. This is wait till it's over. Things can change very rapidly here, especially
Yeah.
if it's very bad. But yeah, Volume 7 was just a whole lot of nothing. Things happening, but for no reason. And Volume
Yeah.
5 is a lot of stuff not happening.
Yeah,
So-
for all we know, we could end up with an ending like Volume 5. Like the last 3 episodes of this volume, or I guess we have 12, 13, and 14. Yeah, the last 3 episodes of this volume could just be like absolutely atrocious, where people are just standing around talking and doing nothing while they're technically supposed to be fighting.
That could still happen.
I
Even if
doubt
that
it will.
did happen, I'd still put it above 5 and 7.
Batman, I know your favorite volume was 4. What was yours, Raymond?
I didn't really reflect on it because like I didn't really digest after Volume 7.
Okay.
I think my favorite is going to be I'm going to be with Vex on this Volume 3, where I feel like the last half of it is just such good stuff, and actually like stuff happening, character dynamics actually popping off.
Yeah.
You got really good intrigue. You got all the stuff that kind of like hitting and happening at like all the right times where it works. But I really enjoyed Volume 2, but Volume 2 was like condensed insanity, and like it's like the uncanny valley where like Volume 3, I think the ending, at least the ending half, is like genuinely really good, and then Volume 2, the entirety of it is just like so bad it's hilariously fun.
So it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah,
It's
and then you got Volume 4 that's kind of in there where it's just like really solid all across the board, where it's just sort of like, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Volume 3 has the tone shift. It has it has the strongest closing by far. For me, it closes better than any volume we've gotten, and we got some actual death at the end there. It's like this thing that worked for me.
Oh, I get it. I see where your
What?
head's at.
Because we didn't do a shot yet? Is that what?
No, because there's a character death.
Right, that's why I said do a shot, because he talks
there's
about...
weights. The people lose a limb. I mean, there's actual like stakes. I mean, things happening. Like,
But
and
Beck, there was a character death in Volume 5.
oh yeah, Leo.
Yeah, and Miley.
I was talking about Vernal, but
Yeah,
okay.
Miley.
Oh, yeah.
Miley
Oh yeah.
Cyrus.
Yeah, but I guess Leo did die too.
Another character I don't care about. Yeah, those one-off characters that get introduced and get
Pilot
killed off.
Boy.
Yeah.
Pilot Boy.
Pilot Boy.
Oh, that was just a damn shame. That was just
Yeah,
a damn
that
shame there.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. Yeah, I was so mad at Volume 4 that I don't know, I never considered it. It was just the volume of walking That's it. Like,
Volume 4 got better over time. I first hated Volume 4 because of the menagerie scene, and that was the volume when I realized that when I became awake, when I woke up, oh, this show is bad.
saw the
Oh, this
light,
show
I
has
guess.
this show has problems. Yeah, so it kind of like had a sore place. After Volume 4, Chapter 3, when I woke up, like, oh my god, this show has too much problems.
The fucking fight on the boat. It's
dragon
like,
fight.
who summons me?
Okay, wait. I completely forgot Blake's scenes in Volume 4.
The menagerie arc, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I it's another one of those things I just blanked out. Oh my god.
But you know, with Blake's scenes came Callie, so
Sure.
Fair.
Came Callie, and then came
That's
Fatman.
almost
yes, thank you.
Years. Say. All right, where was I? Let's go over here to YouTube here. Sakura says, would you guys rather see Rwby, the show, I guess, try to salvage Ironwood, or have him go over the top evil, executing every other person?
At this point, just lean into the evil and just be done with it.
Yeah, I want him to actually drop the bomb.
Yeah, if you're gonna do this with Ironwood, have him kill some people. Yeah, do that.
Like, even if they have to pull some, like, Sheep Girl sucked all those people into her palm hole and then ran away from the explosion really fast. Like, even if they have to pull some, like, nobody actually died, it's still, like, I would think it would be better if he actually did drop that bomb.
All Sheep Girl need to do is suck all the people mantle into her damn body and then fuck off.
But we don't know what's in there.
Yeah,
like,
now that I think about it.
Is it just a big void where things just fly around in circles? And
They
also,
won't
they
won't explain it.
How does she grab it? Like, how does she know what to grab? Like I always said, like, does she reach in there? Does she reach in there and just, like, guess and pulls out her dildo and she's like, oops, and then, actually grabs what she wants, or what? Like, how does she know anyway?
All of the trucks full of supplies are still in there, and everybody's like,
All right. What about the wall? Yeah.
Okay. Another question. RM experts, do you guys think the Aesops will get some character, or will Marrow be the only moral one?
They're showing signs that Elm was kind of like
They were, yep.
questioning some stuff too. So it'd be all four again. It'd be Harriet and Ironwood versus the rest of them.
So you think there's nothing that's going to turn Harriet?
Vine. I don't know. I feel like Vine is going to step in.
Yeah, he's a wild card.
Well, because he doesn't have a personality.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to do.
I feel like Vine is the one who's gonna Vine is the or besides Harriet. I feel like Vine is the last one who's gonna turn on Ironwood, and then he's gonna be the one who actually gets shot because Harriet doesn't care enough to protect him.
Okay.
Like because, I feel like it's gonna be like, oh, Marrow's gonna
black people. He's against Asians. That's why.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's like Marrow and Winter are gonna defect, and then Elm is gonna defect, and then Vine is gonna be like, "Are you sure we should kill all those people?" And then Ironwood's gonna shoot him, and Harriet's like, "Let's go kill all those people."
No, Harriet would be too busy like chasing. I think Harriet Crow fight is gonna happen. So she's gonna be so busy fighting Crow that she's not gonna know what the hell happened to Vine. Like Vine will be dead long before she finds out.
Yeah, wild how we have two Asian characters and both of them are silent, wise ninja types.
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever said Rooster Teeth wasn't racist.
Who are you calling like Asian for real? Like Vine?
Vine.
Okay.
Vine is he's like Buddhist monk based.
Sure.
Meanwhile, you have Ren, who is, I guess more Chinese. Chinese influence, but he's also the wise monk type.
So. Who plays Vine?
I don't know.
A tree.
Snort.
Some random white dude.
Deliveries is stilted at the board. Come on.
All right.
They're just holding like a boom mic up against a tree. Like,
oh, it's Plank. Oh my God, Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy is making his big comeback tour.
Plank had way more personality than Vine.
All right. Insane Oddball asks, was Nora's side plot of questioning her identity / romantic relationship needed in this volume? Shouldn't she be more concerned about Atlas falling rather than Ren or not? Wait, let me read. Atlas falling, then whether or not Ren is going to shove his tongue down her throat in the future. Jesus. Also, how do you feel about Robin villainizing Clover to make her. She did to make her new boy toy Crow feel better. I'm not reading these. You are so mean.
Okay, um,
No.
well, you can hardly blame Nora for keeping her eyes off the prize when you have freaking Yang wondering if Blake thinks less of her for no fucking reason out of nowhere. So I mean, that's just the writing of the show. So
Okay, I just looked up the voice actor for Vine. His name is Todd Womack, and the motherfucker is a stand-up comedian.
Really? That's the
Really?
weirdest.
He's a stand-up.
casting.
Yeah, that's the weirdest. I mean, the only thing that he has in common with Vine that I can tell is that he's bald.
Okay.
Okay,
that's
remember
articulate.
remember when in Volume 3 when they're like, "Oh, hey, we got this really funny like, comedy rapper Flint Flossie to voice Flint Cole because he's a funny guy," and Flint Cole had 0 jokes.
I know.
0
Yeah.
entertaining lines, and he was just like, "Hey, I was a small business owner until your family Walmarted me," and I'm
Oh.
like, that they got a funny guy to read those lines
Did he-
because he was funny.
Did Vine or the person that did Ryan, did he voice act anywhere else?
He's just, let's see, El Paso, Texas. He worked in the musical parody web series The Key of Awesome. From 2010 to 2015,
Really?
Womack worked as a writer-performer for Barely Political / Barely Productions in Brooklyn, New York. Currently lives in Austin, Texas, producing content with Rooster Teeth and running his own film studio, 2 Films.
All right.
Dude, I mean, look at who they have voicing Marrow for crying out loud.
Who?
Yeah,
Mike
what did he?
Lawyer, something like that.
What?
What- how you
Why
pronounce that thing?
Why? What's wrong? Like you said that in a way. So
Yeah,
what's
I,
wrong?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he did. And just someone made the point that he's half Asian.
Okay.
Who's half Asian?
McLauer, the voice of Marrow. Because I'm like, they had a white guy reading those lines, and then
So
somebody's
what?
like, "Oh, he's not white. He's half Asian," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
I guess that just overrides any criticism of those lines.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is Husk in Has Been Hotel.
Husk. Who's Husk?
Yeah, he's the owl guy with the hat. I think he's the drunk.
You can't buy me with some cheap booze.
Oh,
You
that's
think-
guy. Yeah.
or you think you can buy me with some cheap booze?
Yeah. Okay.
You can.
Also, while I was searching, I found female Marrow, and it's actually pretty cute.
Okay, cool. A girl named Bree asks,
That's
sort of
cute.
a follow-up on Molly's question. Do you think that this was better / worse than Volume 5, Chapter 7, where they all sat around talking about how much they've grown?
Oh,
Specifically about that one.
even though they redid that scene, except with Ozpin instead of Ren, I still think that Volume 5, Chapter 7 is bottom 5 episodes ever.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really bad.
Yeah.
The
Guys, go ahead.
this is a situation where it's less like they learned that it's not just we've all grown. It's actually stating here is the way that we have all grown. They've gotten to the next step, guys. They've gotten to the next step. Like, I'm so proud of them. It's taken them 3 years, but they finally got to the step where instead of just saying we've all changed to here is how we've all changed.
Did they even bother with that this scene?
I mean, I don't know if they succeeded, but they made a passing attempt. Or at the very least, Nora and Ren needed to be like, we need to change. Which, honestly, the more that I think about that scene, it really does feel like I want to break up with you because I want to be different people.
Yeah. Our relationship was the only thing going on in neither of our characters.
Vessi.
I mean,
Go ahead.
sorry, you.
That was a question. I'm about to ask a question. But go ahead, finish it.
Oh, I wasn't going to. I was commenting on a question that came in through. Right? Can you show us female Marrow? Just Google Marrow Amen, and just Google results. You'll find it almost immediately. It's like third line.
Bessie asked regarding Ironwood's semblance. They said that they never found a place to explain it in Volume 7 or 8, so they either they lied, like they did for Penny, or it was a long con.
Or it's a stupid fucking semblance, and they don't need to explain it because it shouldn't have existed in the first place.
The fact that it's not in
Yeah.
the show like really like pisses me off. That they're. I hope they don't say that. They don't say that it's because of a semblance in the show, because people don't listen to like, whatever other, cons and stuff and Twitter, and you don't need to.
And they still won't be missing out because the symbols are so fucking pointless, which is why he shouldn't have one in the first place.
I told you, he should be making really good coffee. That should be his semblance.
Okay.
It's-
Izanagi, 009 says, do you guys expect an et tu Brutus moment between Winter and Ironwood?
Oh, what?
Like
An
a
et tu brute.
Between Winter and Ironwood?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I get the feeling that Ironwood has already kind of gotten like Winter. I feel like it's less that, and it's going to be more. It's going to be someone else that that either turns on Ironwood or Ironwood turns on them. I think Winter knows that she's on a short leash right now, and I think that Ironwood knows that Winter is like letting her emotions get the best of her.
If
So
it's not Team Ruby that beats Ironwood, what was even the point of calling the show Rwby in the first place?
That's a good question. What has Team Ruby really accomplished this volume?
0.
Like they snuck
Capital
in
Z,
and they
0.
did whatever it is they needed. That's right. They got the
They
program.
escorted Penny to the place
To do a
so
thing.
Pietro could do the thing. The Team Ruby has accomplished Zip, Nada, and Zilch, which is 3 things.
Give them like a scale of they did like all the things of 100%. They did 10% of the things in this volume so far in this volume at most. This is pushing at most because like the rest of it has the other half of Team Ruby or the other half of the main characters has been Yang, John, and Ren losing Oscar and then going to get him back, and then Oscar nuking things. Like
I have a question, Fatman. What would you prefer? Would you prefer the show not be called Rwby, or would you prefer that Rwby was the ones taking out Ironwood and doing all the work?
That's actually a good question. Because I mean,
I prefer it's not show is not called Rwby. Then that's what I prefer. But go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like if the show wasn't about these four girls, and that the other characters actually had, all of that screen time that was dedicated to showing Weiss making fucking tea, that it could be better. But like those characters didn't exist in the first 6 volumes, so like I would prefer if Team Rwby actually did the stuff instead of the show being focused on the actual main characters. I would prefer if Team Rwby was the actual main characters.
You know what would have been a cool focus for the show is if Team Rwby wasn't like this super important team in like that were like decisively involved in the end of the world things. What if they were just a huntsman team that grew up, graduated Beacon, or they survived Beacon. They went their separate ways, they got back together, and they were just trying to make a surviving life for themselves, and then all this crap was going on in the background, and like they were constantly like just trying to deal with world-ending circumstances that are happening outside of their control. Like that would have been interesting. That would have been a good show.
Yeah, if you're gonna title the show Rwby, then the show just needs to be different. There should have been a different story, different writers, blah blah blah. But based on what we've gotten through the last 8 volumes, well 7 and some change, then just I prefer that it was not called Rwby, because I mean, if we look at Hunter x Hunter, like Gon and Killua weren't always the ones fighting the big bads or the big antagonists of the like the arcs, right? And it still works. It's still awesome. So it just depends on how you structure it and how you write it. But if you're gonna call it show Rwby, then sure, then you need to change the story so that they're more in the action and more like
So you're
set up to actually fight Salem, fight Crow. And right now, I don't see how these kids. That's the whole problem with this freaking writing the show. Like, for me, they haven't even gone through the right amount of training and progression to even be on the level of the Aesops, but they are. So it's just kind of like it's bad.
So you think it should be called Rwby and Friends? Sparkle.
Rwby.
Should be called Remnants or like
I was gonna say
something like
Remnant.
that. Yeah, Remnants, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
because they could totally do that in a way where every volume focused on like a different aspect of the like the culture of Remnant, without like having to tangentially keep cutting back to team Rwby doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rwby entered the Schnee Manor in chapter 4, and she's been there since.
Yeah.
And this is the main protagonist of the volume of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you guys never ever learn? Like, I just don't understand.
What if they
I
had
love-
like one last like hurrah, big bang, that this was all a build up all along? I don't know.
Ryan Carson, hey, how about this? What if Pyrrha was actually the main character of the show? How would that go down? Stop trying to bring back Pyrrha. She had a good death. Please.
Please. They had a death that's one of the moments of the show that actually had weight. Don't
It
don't
had
wreck on it.
It had purpose. It was good. Please stop trying to bring back Pyrrha without it having the due weight it deserves. I've done an entire video on how that works. But like, if you want Pyrrha to be the main character, you missed the entire point of Pyrrha.
Yeah, unless she's zombie Pyrrha, according to Raymond.
Yeah,
like I said, there's ways to bring back characters, but it has to be handled with some grace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
the,
trust.
the people who want Pyrrha to come back want the show to be bad.
Okay.
So after Volume 2, Rwby stopped being so good. It's so bad it's funny. It's still
I only thought Volume 1 was so bad it's good. Like I even thought Volume 2 like slipped out of that.
Oh really?
Volume 2 is charming in some ways though. It has its moments, like maybe because it's so long ago. But when I watch Volume 2, sometimes I'm like, oh, all right, this is cool. Sometimes I know the writing's bad, I acknowledge it, but still I can watch it. For example, like how there's shows where you react to a show. I can react to someone watching Volume 2. I can watch people reacting to Volume 2 and enjoy it, even though the writing's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But for other volumes where the writing is better, I'm less likely to watch it. People react. It's weird.
So you would watch it for like nostalgia? Like
Yeah, I guess. I just maybe the tone is just more. I don't know, like because the writing's bad, but I'm more likely to watch someone watch it. But when it comes to like episodes of Volume 5 or Volume 4, or even some episodes of Volume 6, I'm like, this is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's still. I mean, I can see if you put in nostalgia in there, because like, oh, I remember when this was cool and I loved it here and there.
Yeah, but maybe that's what it is. Remember, because I said I woke up in Volume 4.
Woke up, yeah.
So maybe that's part of it. That's part of it. It reminded me of the better times.
I remember watching Cinder run on those roofs like it was yesterday.
Yeah, and completely like saying it's fine. Like, oh, it's not a problem. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's a nitpick. Yeah, I remember those days.
Chris wants to know: did you guys cringe as much as I did in this chapter? I was fine, as you know. But
I cringed at John.
I probably did, I guess.
And Ryan Carson, I didn't mean to snap at you. It's just like I'm so sick of people being like, Pyrrha should have done this, Pyrrha should have done that, and completely missing how well done Pyrrha was handled. How well Pyrrha was handled. Just brain dying.
Yeah. So, Vex, where did you cringe?
During this John's little moment, I'm more roll my eyes and really cringe.
Yeah.
When he ran out, when he had his little joking moment and ran out when Ren and Nora was talking. What else? Nothing else. I really maybe some stuff with Penny at the end. Maybe I have to think about it.
I guess with Penny, I don't really like cringe at Rwby very much. Like it was I cringed during like the Raven stuff in Volume 5, and then I cringed during the Eddie comedy in Volume 7. That was really good. Like the rest of like the gut reaction I get from Rwby is like sadness.
I giggle all the fucking time. How is that?
I cringed during that scene with Whitley and Weiss when Whitley came down.
Go to your room.
Yeah, well, not
that was more Eddie comedy.
Well, that and the scene where like later on when they make up, she like hugs him. It felt so unearned. I was like, oh my god, I cringed at that scene. I did. She's like, oh,
I don't typically cringe at Rwby these days because it's like there's no like characters have to be like kind of well-rounded for me to cringe. And a lot of these ones are just like messes to the point where it's like, well, I guess this is happening now. Like I can't tell what is unusual in this universe. Like what does anyone like feel embarrassed about? Like back in volumes 1 through 3, which again, we kind of got off this topic and I wanted to chime in, but there was a printer, I didn't want to make the loud noises. But like volume 1 through 3 had like this like internet low quality charm where like you could tell that it was like a production that was done on a budget. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff that was like it made it very charming. And like there were things there that like you could tell like Rwby was awkward and kind of cringed when she felt embarrassed by things. And like you kind of get early inklings of that, but you never really get to see it go full tilt. I guess maybe with John you get to see it go a little full tilt where like it's intentional cringe humor where it's like you know, he's being awkward and goofy, like when he's flirting with Weiss and you're just like, oh dude, no dude, batting outside of your fucking league there. But no, I don't really cringe too much recently because it's like no one has been like doing stuff like that. It hasn't been like people making awkward advances or anything like that. It's just been everyone making terrible decisions and the show not recognizing that.
I can tell you where I cringed, like recently actually, like uber cringed to where I was scared to see what these guys were gonna think about it. Was a couple episodes ago when in the whale when Jean goes, well, I was gonna go with keep moving forward, but all right. That one like hurt my soul a little bit.
Oh yeah, where they try to force that in.
That was a shake my head moment.
As a seer of Genlock, I'm immune to bad keep moving forwards.
Yeah,
you remind me of
like,
Genlock.
no, why? No, and then even in the video, I was like, I'm glad you didn't say anything there because the rest of the video would have been like,
like I'm glad you missed that.
yeah, no, I'm glad we were talking over it, I think, and I just missed it. Like the so which is worse, Genlock or Rwby Volume 5?
I think Genlock, just because it's like I would take like so bad it's good over so boring it's bad like any day of the week.
Yeah,
but I thought they were both that.
I mean, like I'm also weird because I would put Volume 7 below Volume 5 just because there's no like the shock that I felt when I was watching Rwby Volume 5 and like literally nothing happened for 10 episodes. Like that's like I'll never have that experience again. You know what I mean? That in itself is like an important moment in my life, and I won't get that back anytime ever.
Come on now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember watching those reactions. You guys were laughing your asses off.
Yeah,
especially during chapter 11 when they weren't showing any of the fights of the action.
Yeah.
I still can't get over how that Yang turns to go chase him and immediately gets kicked by Murray.
Just that's the kind of shit they used to lampshade in Red versus Blue. Like when they were making those shorts and just fucking around with the forge mode, and it was like, we've made this thing, and it's like, I can't believe that you made that. I can't believe that none of us noticed that until just now. It's like they used to lampshade that like off screen, out of sight, out of mind joke, and then they just use it. Like here's one thing that I wanted to bring up, but we moved on from it too fast while we were recording the reaction. You were saying how they like repeated stuff, and again in the commentary, remember when Pietro had his thumb over Watts's face?
Yeah.
And Miles was all proud of that moment, and then somebody pointed out that he did the same thing with Crow covering Raven's face with his thumb in Volume 3, and he wasn't like calling back to that. He legitimately thought that was a cool thing to do both times and forgot that he had already done it. Like there's some
I
This is the
think
problem.
like, I don't understand because I think it would have been cooler just like because yeah, it's a colleague you lost, but you don't forget the like Raven. It was actively trying to forget like I don't want to associate with this woman anymore. I hate everything about it. Like I'm not going to do this. Meanwhile, with them, it's like, oh, this is my old partner. I missed working with him. Too bad he died. Like that would be a better like having Watts on there. Like, what if we saw Watts without his mustache?
Oh, that'd be
Can you
scary.
imagine how terrifying that would
Yeah,
be?
that's like seeing him naked or something.
Before that bird landed on his face.
Oh, good lord. All right, Looney Goons asks, at the start of the volume, Yang's team went down to help Mantle while Rwby went to Atlas to help. Ultimately, both teams ended up doing more towards the other's goal. Yang's team nuked the whale attacking Atlas, and Ruby's team sent cargo ships to evacuate Mantle. Do you think that was intentional to have the teams reflect each other, or was it an accident?
Yang's team didn't nuke the. Well, that's all Oscar's bullshit.
Well, they
I
were
mean,
down
Oscar
there
was
and they was
technically
there.
part of their team.
Yeah.
Sure, but I mean, they're running off. I mean, not like I get the point. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that might be intentional. That might be like that. I could definitely see that being like in the writing room. They're like, guys, what if we have them like disagree on what to do? One wants to do one thing, and the other wants to do another thing, and they separate to go do those things. But in the end, they end up doing the other person's thing instead. Like, how cool would that have been? I could totally see that being a conversation.
I didn't even notice.
Wait, what was the what was the other thing that Yang team did that Rwby wanted to do?
Rwby wanted to basically. I think Rwby wanted a frontal assault or something like that.
Rwby wanted to reach out and get help from other nations and other kingdoms. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the help never came. She's like, I failed. Help never came. That's the whole thing. Oh, that's the whole point she's making this last chapter. It's like, my plan didn't work. No one came. Then so what was the point? It was a waste of time.
How does she know that no one? It's been like
it's been 3 hours.
Apparently,
I expected this to be solved by now.
She wanted them to get up, like jump up on the damn ship and head over there. Like, wow, any questions?
This isn't the end of like freaking This isn't the end of freaking The Last Jedi where they get like messages back where it's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna come to help you because fuck you. No, this is we've sent our message out and we literally can't receive messages back. So hopefully someone's coming and they'll be here in like a day or two.
Yeah, like I said, I was assuming I was getting trolled. Like, this is some bullshit. This is not real. Like, what? Salem? There's a Salem Grim. A woman controlling the Grim, please. She expecting like everybody to get the ships, jump up. Yeah, come on now.
Also, I do like how Ironwood can't be trusted, quote unquote. Like she said that in the thing, but like the only reason Ironwood turned on you, it's not that you couldn't trust him, is that you had a disagreement on what method to take. So you were actively slandering this man.
Well, he tried to grab her and they were fighting. They were trying to get him.
Oh yeah, but like that was like a disagreement on like what methods to take, and instead of like it wasn't that Ironwood was lying about anything, it's just that he had a different point of view. Now, if I need to actually go for dinner, so if I don't come back, thank you all for coming. It's been wonderful being here. Thank you for having me, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.
Later, Raymond. Thank you.
See ya.
Later, Raymond. No, Ironwood was the one who was telling the truth the whole volume. Team Rwby the one who were lying and like making him more paranoid and making him more stressed out. Okay. So they're to blame for his yet they haven't acknowledged that yet, which is interesting, but not surprising.
I'm thinking because was Ironwood trying to kill just they were just trying to arrest him. They weren't trying to kill him or anything. So, but Ironwood wasn't to be trusted because he was about to kill a bunch of people, but not not purposely. He was going to abandon them.
Ironwood was making a tough call, which happens all the time in real life. Yeah. Team Rwby were like, we have to save everyone. Why? Yeah. Because we have to. This is what we do. And Ironwood like, well, do you know what Salem's? For all they know, Salem's going to show up with 5, 6, 7, 10 whales. They had no idea what's coming. They had no idea what the threat was. He was like, okay, she's coming. The big bad is coming. She can't die. We got to do something. Let's just get out of here. They're like, no, we have to save everyone. We don't know when she's coming. we don't know what's going on, but we'd have to save everyone just because that's what we do. They're like he's you watch all the Avengers, so I can talk about this. You watched all Marvel. Ironwood is Iron Man, and Team Ruby was Captain America. Like we have to save everyone no matter what. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. Ironwood, but no, we have to make a tough call here because we never know what can happen. That was it. Then the writers, what pissed me off and what pissed a lot of people off, the writers then took that and said, no, he's the villain. He's the awful killing psychopath now. That's the problem. That's what people don't understand. People who are
Iron Man never shot anybody in the face. So
Yeah, really.
Exactly. They took it too far. It couldn't just be someone who disagrees with Team Ruby. No, you disagree with Team Ruby, you have to be a murdering psychopath, cartoon villain. And that's why people are upset about Ironwood. That's all.
All right.
That's all.
Okay. Not all that.
I don't know why people can't understand.
Asks.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Am I still okay?
Were you
okay.
trying to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I'm like my computer just died, and if I disconnect, I'm sorry. If it comes back,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
No, we're gonna be done soon. I just got a couple questions here. Not all that evil asks. Between the tower not being finished, just kidding. Pietro fixed it. The whale being there, just kidding. Oscar fixed it, and Penny being hacked, just kidding. Jean fixed it.
I like this guy.
How do you feel about Ruby backpedaling on stakes that were previously set up?
I sincerely hope more comes of Penny's hacking. Because if it doesn't, oh boy, what a...
But that aura, though, and honestly, it makes sense, the whole aura thing, because it was.
Does it though?
Yes, it does, because she wasn't. She's not all robot. She's got a soul. It made sense.
Sure.
All right.
She has a soul. Go ahead.
If Penny's hacking is over and done with, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
Like not even mad, just upset. But I will defend the Pietro fixed the tower thing, because the thing that was preventing the tower from being done was that the huntresses were stealing all the supplies. And then when Pietro started working with them, they had all the supplies. So yeah, it makes sense that he was able to finish it. But that's the only defense I'm gonna run for that particular comment.
Sure.
No, Ruby is really bad at having stakes, and they need to stop. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Agreed.
They're vegetarians, but they're writing wars that need, they need that protein. They got no
Stakes. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. One on top of Titania asks, what was your favorite scene in the volume so far?
Wow.
The May redux of the Ren yell scene.
Redux.
Yeah, that was strong. May's character moment was strong.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought Ren yelling at Yang and Archana wasn't bad as well. That was solid. What's my favorite of them all? Gosh, one of those two, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. To me, the top three scenes in the volume were May yelling at Team Ruby, and then Ren yelling at Yang, and then Watts yelling at Cinder. Those three scenes were
go with that too.
1, 2, and 3 for me.
Yeah.
So Ren is May is your top, you said.
Yeah, I would put May at the top. I would put Ren second, and I put Watts third.
All right.
The only reason I would put Watts third is because of Cinder's stupid fucking pout at the end.
Yeah,
It's
look
just
crying. Yeah.
like that sort of dampened it for me, more so than the other two scenes, which felt like they landed better.
Okay. Our master asks, do you guys think we could have explored Shinigi Manor instead of it being Volume 5 House Version 2?
Then they would have had to make more. No, I mean, okay, they even had more not more scenes, more rooms that we didn't explore in Volume 5, because Weiss walks by that big empty room with the piano in it in Volume 4.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. Like, I think they shouldn't have gone to Shinigi Manor at all. That's what I think.
They spend way too much time there.
I mean,
Maybe you drop off Nora and then you move on. Yeah, they spend too much time in there.
But again, like, this is all what is it? 2 hours? Oh no, 2 days. 2 days.
I mean, I don't even think they should have dropped off Nora there. I think they should have just had Nora being fucking baggage when they went on to continue to do things. Like,
You mean because
that
they
could work.
started off putting her on the floor and stuff? Like,
yeah, they're like, "Fuck, get on the, it's like, yeah, get off the bench. I need to sit here.
that was so bad.
These seats aren't handicap accessible. Yeah, like, I don't know. I would rather have had that half of Team Ruby actually just continue to do things instead of just sitting around at the speed of sound.
Okay. Chris asks, what characters do you think should be killed off to progress either the story more or specific characters in the development further, for example?
Let's see.
I know, right? Rolls out CVS receipt.
Ren can go. Nobody in Team Ruby is gonna kill, so I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah.
Crow can go. I don't pick more than 2, honestly, with this show. So Ren, Crow, and maybe throw in like some of the like the more not important
Robin?
characters, like like a Robin. Sure, she can go. Yeah.
Cinder.
Yeah.
Cinder's not going anywhere.
Cinder's
who,
not
who, are, who are we
Nah.
kidding?
I think he is.
I don't
Not
even-
chasing hell.
Look, okay, the only way that we'll ever get Cinder dying is if we all simultaneously stop wanting it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
not just,
that's-
not
good
just
character,
here, like the world.
No, it's only us 3.
Oh, is that right?
It's us wanting Cinder to die. I don't even know if you want Cinder to die, but
Yeah,
the
yes, I
people
do.
in this call wanting Cinder to die is the only thing keeping
Okay.
Rwby from pulling the trigger.
Sure, guys, sure.
Yeah. I like. Okay, so you think Watson or not Watson? You think Crow and Ren, and I. Who? Like, okay, I don't think people have to die to progress a story.
Mhm.
Sure.
To not even this one. I would say Ironwood and Pietro.
Pietro.
Because they need to give Penny's death they need to give Penny's threats some stake, and killing off Pietro would be the most effective way to do that.
But Sean could just boost her,
Oh,
like you always
I
say.
I forgot about Ironwood. He's gonna die for sure. Ironwood's gonna die for sure this volume.
This volume.
If I mean,
Or before they leave Atlas, how about that? He'll die.
All right.
interesting.
I mean,
what?
he's already a cartoon villain. And where's there for him to go? Once he loses Atlas, I mean, come on, he's done.
Well, there's nowhere for him to go. But what about, oh guys, my semblance, blah blah blah.
Oh, they're not gonna put. Even I don't think they're gonna pull that. They're gonna say, "Oh, it was my semblance that did that." No, they're not gonna do that.
All right.
They're gonna like. They're not gonna acknowledge his semblance at all in the show. Period.
I hope not.
Not at all.
Yeah. All right. Last couple questions, you guys. Chris asks, "What are your guys' thoughts on Rwby inheriting the Winter Maiden hypothetically?"
Hate it.
That okay. That was, that's the one Penny has right forgot. Wait, that's the one Penny has right
Yes.
forgot. Huh?
He probably missed an I in there. That's the one Penny has, right?
I forgot. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you hate it. I would be at least happy that they're re-involving the quote-unquote main characters in the story if they did that.
I mean,
Like, it wouldn't be good, but when was the last time Rwby did something good?
I love that scene. That she's like, "Tell me what I can do to help you." She's like, "Kill me." I was like, "Oh, right." You know, at least she knows what's up. Anyway, D'Artagnan
Penny
says,
should have. Never mind. Go ahead. Keep going.
No. Go ahead.
If Penny gave a crap enough that she would sacrifice herself, then she would have wised up and say, "All right, guys, this is the situation. They want me. Someone's gonna fuck off and fly off the freaking vacuo or something." She would do something. She wouldn't just be here. Oh no, I can't stop myself. I can't. She would have then dismembered herself or did something by now. So this whole kill me is like you could have done that your damn self, lady.
If she had dismembered herself, that would be so cool.
Yes.
Wow.
So who are we kidding? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm calling bullshit on Penny. That was all. That's all for show. Kill me. No, right? No, but really don't.
Oh, I
Don't.
still liked it. Okay.
I mean, it was fine.
Darth Titan
Hey, Darth, what's up?
says, "What are the chances that Hacked Penny kills Emerald or someone else?"
Well, it would be Emerald, wouldn't it? If Hacked Penny killed anyone.
If anyone, yeah, it would
Either
be.
Hacked Penny is either going to kill Emerald or randos in the sewers.
Yeah.
Or the cavern. What's it called? The crater? Yeah,
The
whatever.
crater, yeah.
She's either going to kill randos or Emerald.
The chances I think are very, very, very low now that they know how to control it, I guess, because of Jean. But Jean can't boost her forever, so. We'll
Ironwood is going to walk over to a literal dial that's already on one of his control panels and turn it up, and then Penny's eyes are going to go like super red.
Oh, Ironwood. He said, "Oh, Watts betrayed us," or like, but he still had the damn knob. That'd be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he still has the knob.
Last question, you guys. Does Salem kill anyone before the series is over, or if she
Series?
does, then who?
I would sincerely hope so.
Before the whole thing is over.
I guess he's asking, basically like a cheeky way of saying Sailor hasn't killed anyone yet. Will she ever? Probably, but yeah, you're right. I would assume Sailor. I would thought Sailor would have killed a few people by now, and at least did something. But I still can't believe that whole conversation between Salem and Yang and all them left with just Hazel being dead. Like, really?
And-
That's not his own
Well,
choice.
again, remember, like you said so yourself. Let's just wait to see what happens. Because something may happen.
Sure.
Who knows?
That's true. I said I'll wait till the end of Salem while you just video on Salem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So Hazel says no more Gretchens, and then Ozpin kills him. Yeah.
Glad this guy's good.
So he
These
just
guys
meant
are my-
women. He just meant girls. That's why.
No more
Yeah.
girls.
Guy's been for my ass for so many years. Good thing he's gone. Kill him.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget Raymond's streaming on Fridays, right? That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fridays. Check out what's your latest video there, Vexifer Newton.
I'm currently working on a video for that Cinder Watt scene, and I uploaded a video about Ironwood at last.
Okay. Yeah.
Last video I uploaded by Ironwood.
Yeah, check that out. And coming up real soon is our reaction and Fatman's channel. All the
Yes.
links are in the
So
description.
if you want to hear all the exact same stuff we said just now, but
Fatman,
again,
stop. Because you know it's not true, you fuck.
I'm
so much
the
different.
only one who knows
Thank you
it's
for
true.
watching,
I'm editing
guys.
it.
Love you. Not Fatman. You guys. Shut up. Fucking love you.
That's fine.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Later.
Bye bye.